Day 2 of special rights. So as expected, we're going to get a little bit more complex. However, the word problems I think get a little bit more interesting because we get to have a little bit more fun drawing them, some different things to look at. So I'm going to show you some double triangles, which you've seen before, but we're going to do more of them, and we'll eventually do triple triangles, which are the toughest, obviously. And then again, we're going to get into some more complex and more fun word problems. So starting off basic, just a little warm up. Find x and y in the following triangles, give exact answers. So across from 30 would be s, across from 60 would be s, radical 3 across from 90 is 2s. Here's your information. Let's go ahead and solve that. 6 radical 6. Divide both sides by 2, so s is 3 radical 2. There's your s. Go ahead and plug it back in. So up here is just going to be 3 radical 2. Here's going to be 3 radical 2 times radical 3, because you're just plugging it in for the actual s. Okay? So that's any times an any, that becomes 3 radical 6, so that would be our y. So there's x, there's y. Go ahead and make sure you tell me that at the very end. Okay? Next one, across from, well, we don't know what it is. We only have one side, though, so you know it has to be special rights. We see that they're the same side, so again, it's a square cut in half, which means we have 45, 45. I definitely prefer 45, 45s. Here's our information. S radical 2 equals 8 radical 11. Divide both sides by the square root of 2. Again, 11 divided by 2, that doesn't work as a shortcut. If it was 10, that'd be great. It's not. We have to multiply top and bottom by the square root of 2. I know you guys are probably all groaning now. So that's going to be square root of 22 over the square root of 4. S equals 8 radical 22 over 2. S is 4 radical 22. There's S. We did a bunch of work to find S, but now all we have to do is plug it in here, 4 radical 22. Plug it in here, which is 4 radical 22, because those are just simply S. So x equals 4 radical 22, and so does y. Looking at number 3, last simple one. Across from 30 is s. Across from 60 is s radical 3. Across from 90 is 2s. Here's our information. And one more simple setup. Oops. Divide both sides by square root of 3. Again, no shortcut here, so multiply top and bottom by it. S equals 15 radical 15. Over here, I'm going to go ahead and do the little shortcut that some of you have already probably started doing. The square root of 3 times the square root of 3, you will notice, just like we did back over here, square root of 2 times square root of 2 ends up being 2. Square root of 3 times square root of 3 ends up being just 3. Saves you a step. If you're not comfortable doing that, don't do it, though. So there's our s. So that means this is 5 radical 15. And this is 2 of them. So that means x is going to be 5 radical 15. Y is going to be 2 times 5 is 10 radical 15, because that long side is always twice the short side. Okay, so those are our basic setups. The way I want you guys to do these double triangles, I'm going to change it a little bit slightly. We started doing this before, but I'm going to use different letters when I bounce from one triangle to the other, and I'll show you what I mean here in a second. So, I'm going to start off like normal. Doesn't matter what triangle you start on for just labeling purposes. So across from 30 is s, across from 60 is s radical 3, across from 90 is 2s. To avoid confusion, I'm going to switch letters now, and I'm going to also switch colors when I do this. Over here, this is a 45, 45, 90, so across from 45 is s, across from the other 45 is s, across from 90 is s for radical. I told you I was going to switch letters. Let's call it K. Across from 45 is K, across from 45 is K, across from 90 is K radical 2. Again, that letter is just a number that we're keeping the same or multiplying by some other number. S doesn't mean side necessarily. So, we'll start wherever we have information. I'm going to show you again how I want this to be done so that I think you guys will have the best idea of how to do it. Here's our information. So we're going to go ahead and start with s radical 3 equals 12. Divide both sides. that's not 4, you have to multiply top and bottom by the square root of 3. So it becomes 12 radical 3 over 3, or just 4 radical 3. That's our s. That is our s, and this is why I'm doing it. It's not going to be our k necessarily. So let's go ahead and plug back in. That's going to be 2 times 4 radical 3. And then across from 30, this is 4 radical 3. Now, kind of boot your brain and start over and get our k, because we found all of our blue values for our left triangle. We found x and w. We can simplify w here in a second. We're going to go back and find everything doing the same thing with k. So I'm going to go ahead and set, this is my information, because that's where I have it. It's jumping from one to the next. And I'm going to say k equals 4 radical 3. Okay. So that means I'm done. I already have my answer, or my k value. So this is just 4 radical 3. And up here is 4 radical 3 times radical 2. Okay? Now I'm going to go back and write all my answers. So w, that's the first one in the alphabet. So w, I'll do this in blue since that's what I've been doing. W is 2 times 4 radical 3, which is 8 radical 3. X is 4 radical 3. That was that middle part. Y was 4 radical 3, because that was also across from 45. And Z, we have to do a little bit of mental math here. 4 radical 3 times radical 2 is 4 radical 6. Okay. I'm going to use S and K from now on. Okay, so that's how I'm going to handle these. Let's try another one. 45, 45, 90, 30, 60, 90. So I'm going to start again. Doesn't matter where you start. Across from 45 is S. Across from 45 is S. Across from 90 is S radical 2. There's my information. Let's go ahead and move things along here. S equals 24 radical 2 over 2. S equals 12 radical 2 for the triangle on the left. I'm going to go back and do the triangle on the right before I forget. Across from 30 is K. Across from 60 is K radical, K radical 3. Across from 90 is 2K. Okay, so again, S is 12 radical 2. So that means this side is just 12 radical 2. Across from 45, this is 12 radical 2. This is where I think it's going to help using that other letter. Here's our information again for moving on to the right triangle. We have K radical 3 equals 12 radical 2. Because again, they're talking about the same side, so they have to be the same. Divide both sides by it. Doesn't work, so multiply top and bottom by square root of 3. So we have 12 radical 6 over 3. K is 4 radical 6. There's our K value. Now we're just going to go ahead and plug in. So across from 30 is just K, 4 radical 6. Across from 90 is 2 times 4 radical 6. Go back and answer all of our questions. So do we have a W? Yes, we did. W was 12 radical 2. X was also 12 radical 2, which makes sense because that was in your 45, 45, 90, so those are the same. Y is 4 radical 6. Z is 2 times 4 radical 6, or 8 radical 6. Okay? So a couple doubles that we're looking at. A couple more. Then we'll look at some more, again, interesting word problems. I like those definitely more than these. Start with labeling. Across from 45 is S. Across from 45 is S. Across from 90 is S radical 2. Across from 30 is K. Across from 60 is K radical 3. Across from 90 is 2K. There's our information. Ooh, I like this one because we don't have to do any work. And we all want to be lazy. So there's S, which means I'm going to plug it back in. 4 radical 10 here. Now I have to plug that S into 4 radical 2, which don't like that much. So what I'm going to have to do here is off to the side, I'm going to go right down here and say that 4 radical 10 is being plugged in for S times the square root of 2. So that's 4 radical 20. You have to break up that 20. Always check that. That turns into a 4 and a 5, 2 and a 2. There's a pair of 2's. Your 5 stays inside. So 2 comes out with the original 4. So it's 8 radical 5. Okay, but you do need to do that part. You have to have it simplified. So this is 8 radical 5, which means moving on to this triangle, there's your information. And let's go ahead. K equals 8 radical 5. Have it done. Now we're going to go ahead and plug it in again. So that turns in this into 2 times 8 radical 5. There's 2 of them. And turns this into 8 radical 5 times the square root of 3. So, go back and answer all of our questions. X equals 4 radical 10. Y equals 8 radical 5. W equals, W should go up here, I guess, that's the alphabet. 8 radical 15, 5 times 3 is 15, they both stay inside. And Z is 16 radical 5. And the last one, then we get our word problems. Across from 45 is S, across from 45 is S, across from 90 is S radical 2. Across from 30 is K. Across from 60 is K radical 3. Ooh, this is going to be a tough one. Across from 90 is 2K. If you want to pause and work ahead, if you can do 7, you can do all of these for sure. Here's our information. So S equals 3 radical 14. That's the most important piece for this triangle. So that means this is 3 radical 14. And again, here, I'm going to have 3 radical 14. I'm going to plug it in here. 3 radical 14 times square root of 2, which is 3 radical 28. See if that breaks down. It does into a 4 and a 7. 2 and a 2. So we have 3 times 2 radical 7, or 6 radical 7 for that. So this is a 6 radical 7. Done with the triangle on the left. Here's our information. Move to the triangle on the right. K radical 3 equals 6 radical 7. Yuck. Multiply both sides. Divide both sides. Multiply top and bottom. It's all repetition with this. K equals 6 times the square root of 21 over 3. K equals 2 radical 21. Now plug it in. You want 2 of those here, coming right up. You want 1 of those here, leave it alone, and answer our question. So W is 2 radical 21 by itself. X is, 3 radical 14. Y is, in the middle there, 6 radical 7. Z is 2 times 2 is 4 radical 21. Whew. Good work. Now my favorite. Some word problems. The ramp to get on the Tilt-A-Whirl right at the amusement park is 25 feet long and makes a 30-degree angle with the ground. How far above the ground is the ride? Okay. So, you can be as good as you want with your little pictures. You guys know I suck. I also suck at Flappy Birds. It's a stupid game. So there's your slide. And it makes a 30-degree angle with the ground, which means the angle is here, not up at the top. That wouldn't make sense because that's not with the ground. Ground's on the bottom, below your feet, for those of you who don't know. Again, the the ramp, so this is a ramp to get up. Whatever, we're going to call that the ramp. 25 feet, it's kind of a steep ramp, it's alright. It makes a 30-degree angle with the ground. How far above the ground is the ride? So we want to know, you get up here and you have the Tilt-A-Whirl, which probably is something like this. And then it spins you around. You guys know how that goes. We want to know how high up it is. Okay? So that's our goal, is to find that. Well, it's a 30, 60, 90. We measure height as directly straight above, which is a 90-degree angle. Across from 30 would be S. This has to be 60 then. So across from 60 is S radical 3. Across from 90 is 2S. Here's our information. This is why I like these problems a lot more. So we have 2s equals 25. Divide both sides by 2. So s is going to be about, we'll call that 12.5. Because we're talking a word problem, it might make a little bit more sense. 12.5 plugged in here. So that is our height. So the height, because it's complete sentences, of Tilt-A-Whirl. Oh boy, you're going to pretend you didn't see that. Tilt-A-Whirl is 12 and a half. We'll write it like this, 12 and a half feet. The people that just left the video early and they didn't watch the rest of it just missed something pretty good. I'm sure you guys will be talking about that one tomorrow. That's why you always watch the videos. You never know what's going to happen. Congratulations to you for watching the video and getting a good laugh at that last problem. It's your turn to clean the gutters on your house. Your ladder is 30 feet long and the gutters are 21 feet above the ground. Assuming that you place the ladder on an angle, how far should the bottom of the ladder be from the base of the house? Express your answer in a complete sentence. Okay, so again, we have a 30-foot long ladder. Here's my ladder. I can actually draw a ladder that looks really good. So that's our 30-foot ladder. And the gutters are 21 feet. So your gutters are up here. They're 21 feet above the ground. How far should we put the ladder away? So what should this length be? Okay, now look at what you have. I gave you no angle. Besides that, you're measuring a height here, which is straight up and down. You have two sides of a right triangle. So what do you use? You should be saying Pythagorean theorem. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. This side is a, this side has to be b, this side is c. The only side that really has to be anything is that hypotenuse c. So we're going to have 21 squared plus x squared equals 30 squared. So 21 squared is going to give us, what does that come out to be? 441 plus x squared equals 900. So it's x squared equals 900 minus 441 is going to give us 459. We could try taking the square root of that, but I'm almost positive that doesn't work out to anything nice. Nope. So, have to see if we can, oh no, it's a word problem, so we're going to go ahead and just take the square root of that. And we're going to say, because we don't like to give word problem answers as like 25 radical 13 or something like that, because nobody knows what that means, besides us smart geometry students. So the distance from the house is going to be about 21.42 feet. Okay, so again, express it in a complete sentence. The distance should be about 21.42 feet. Okay. A couple more. That's a longer video, but you guys got a terrific laugh. Oh, I'm sorry, only one more. Let's save this one for tomorrow. I want to do this one together in class so I don't make any more stupid mistakes, or also so we can get some more practice with this. So, if you want to work ahead and try this one, this is kind of a double problem in itself, and you guys will see as we draw a picture, but if you want to work ahead, that's fine, but we'll do number 10 in class tomorrow. See ya!